Hey everybody, I'm back. Sorry it's been so long. I meant to have done this episode quite some time ago, but I just never got around to it. Since COVID hit, things have been a little bit crazy. So I'm here to give you a rundown of my very last video on the diary of a new artist. So this is going to be episode number 9, I believe. So I'm one short of 10 even. So you're going to get number 9, and that should be it. It's pretty much as I can think of right now. This episode comes after a lot of requests. So it took me a little while to write down a whole bunch of notes on this issue, and the topic we are covering today is commissions. So a lot of you have reached out to me and asked me questions on how to deal with commissions. So I'm going to jump right into it. I have about 7 points to make, but I'm sure I will blabber on as I go. The first thing, when a client contacts you to ask for a commission, you need to turn on the charm. This is your chance to say thank you for them reaching out to you. Like, a commission is a big deal. They probably have thought about this for days and days, if not weeks, before sending you that email. So be really polite and courteous. This is your time to shine. So when you respond to them, be as sweet as pie. This is your time, and money's coming your way. If at all possible, I know it's going to be a little bit more difficult right now, but if at all possible, ask for a face-to-face meeting. There is nothing better than sitting down with your client and going through face-to-face what they're looking for. For those of you who create more traditional style artwork, landscapes, portraits, things like that, you might not need a face-to-face meeting because they're more than likely going to give you a photograph. So you're really lucky, because that doesn't happen all that much to us abstract artists. So it's the best way to get into their minds, figure out what they want exactly. You can share ideas and jot down some things. I just had met with a client just a few days ago, and as you can see on my, I'm sketching artwork, I'm making notes to myself, and I'm writing down prices and all that kind of stuff. So always a face-to-face if you can. It's really fun to get to know your client. It might change the way you create the piece. So that I recommend that as well. Number 3, I don't have it in front of me. It's actually in my car right now, but bring a color swatch book. So if you know what that is, it's like when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, you can buy one of those color books that like fan out with all the shades and hues of colors. That is a phenomenal tool to bring to your meeting with clients to say, what colors exactly are you looking for? And when you write them down, and then you can color match or mix your own colors at home when it's time to create that piece. That to me is a super smart tip for you guys. That way they can't come back to you and say, well, that's not really the color that matches my walls. You've shown them in a swatch book what that is. So keep that in mind. Also, when you're meeting them, sketch out your design. So if you're an abstract artist, don't be afraid to just draw a really rough sketch in your notebook that you should bring with you. It'll just give you an idea, and it lets them participate in the creation of your piece. So again, that might be something you might want to consider. The next one is know your price structure. So I've covered this topic in a video, probably like one, I'm looking at my screen right now, it's number 6 on my Diary of a New Artist. So episode number 6. So know your pricing formula ahead of time. So when you're sitting there talking to them or you're sending emails back and forth, you can say, this is how I price my pieces. It really helps them feel comfortable and letting them know that they're getting value for what you're creating for them. And be consistent. So if you give them a price based on a formula, which I use, for example, and then they email you a few days later and they say, oh no, we've decided to go bigger or smaller, you can show them how your price is going to adjust. So that's also pretty key. You don't want to just come up with random numbers out of your head saying this is going to cost you this much, and then if it's bigger or smaller, it's going to cost you that much, with no reasoning behind it. So really give that some consideration and bring that pricing structure with you to the meeting, or have it ready so that you can email them when they are asking. During that time, regarding prices, outline your payment structure. So for some of you out there, you will be requesting a deposit. Deposits can range from anywhere between 20 and 50%. I myself, it depends on the client for me and what they want. If a client asks for something from me that I know I can do, and it's based on an older piece, so I know the design, I know the colors, and I'm 99% certain that I could resell it in any way if they hate it, I won't ask for a deposit because I know I can resell it. But if it's something very specific, like a landscape or a portrait, then I would definitely ask for anywhere between 20 and 50% of a deposit upfront. And don't start the work until you get that money. So e-transfers are the way to go right now. Get your money, then start your piece. At that same time, during your pricing, do you have a return or credit policy? Is there a way, I'll talk about abstracts, but is there a way that if they, for some reason, can't stand the piece or it's not what they wanted, can they return it to you? Or do you have a credit policy, whereas in you keep the deposit, but that deposit money can be used as a credit note for something that you create in the future or for something that's already in your collection? The last thing you want to do is take their money and just walk away. They've paid you that money. More than likely you can paint over your canvas or your wood panel and create something else. So it's not good customer service, just take their money and run. You want to offer them that little extra service. So keep that in mind. Do you have a refund or credit policy? What I do is I take pictures during the process. So I really like to involve my clients throughout. So it makes it feel like they have a say in the matter. So when I'm preparing my board, I'll take a picture and I'll send it to them and say, like, we're about to start. Here we go on our adventure. If I get some bases down or some color shades or whatever you're doing, take some snaps along the way and send it to them. That shows them progress, that you're making them a priority. It's always well received. You can ask the person as well, or the clients, if there's more than one, if they want to receive that kind of stuff. Maybe they don't. They just say, you know what, just give it to me when you're done. But I like to include that in my emails as I go along the process. So keep that in mind. Once you finish your piece, my process is I take a picture of it when it's finally done and I send it to them for approval. So if they approve it, great. I put my resin on it and off we go. If they absolutely hate it, I have to decide whether or not I'm going to keep it for my inventory or add some details that they might be requesting. Don't be surprised if they ask for more details or more additions. It happens quite frequently. Sometimes they'll say, I want more of this color, I might want more of that color, I didn't expect this or I didn't expect that. So keep an open mind. They want a commission, they want something unique, so they might have a little bit of feedback for you. If they do not like the piece, if they come back to you and say, no, absolutely, that's not what we want, that's right off the mark, you just missed it completely, you're going to have some negotiation to do. Are you going to keep the piece in your inventory and start again? Are you going to resell it? Are you going to give them a credit note? It's really up to you to sit down with the client and decide. It's not always an easy conversation, but it will happen from time to time. I myself will usually keep it in my inventory and put it in a show. But there has been times where I have sanded down, I use wood panels, so I've sanded down my piece and started all over again. So you need to keep an open mind and determine whether or not that is an option for you. When everything is said and done, if they love the piece and it's ready for delivery and you've painted your edges really nicely, because I'm a crazy guy for edges, make sure you get a picture of them with the piece before they install it on the wall. You really want that record of a happy client so you can market that on your social media, Instagram, Facebook, on your website. It's very important. And then the minute you get home, you are going to grab a thank you card, and you're going to write them a thank you card, and you're going to say, thank you very much for this opportunity. It was a wonderful journey to work with you. Just be honest and be nice. More than likely, they've just cut you a check for a sizable amount of money. So be grateful and be kind. That's really important. That will endear them to you or endear you to them. And it costs 50 cents to send a card these days. So don't send an email. Take the time, write in a card with your own handwriting and sign it. Put a business card in there. Just recap the experience for you and thank them for your business. It's that extra little professional step, and I think it makes a difference. So that's pretty much all I have on commissions. I know you're going to have questions, so throw them my way and I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. I hope you've enjoyed the series. I can't think of any other topics right now to deal with in my diary of a new artist. I'm pretty much covered from A to Z, but if you think of any and you have some recommendations, let me know and I will certainly do another video. I will be doing another video shortly on some mounting of prints that I've been working on, and I've had a hard time mounting the prints onto wood panels and then putting epoxy resin on them. So I'm going to go through some tips and tricks for that process. But in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this video and you're staying safe and cleaning your hands and social distancing. But enjoy your summer, and I'll talk to you again. Bye.